Happy second week of distance learning, Algebra 1B. It's good to see y'all posting on Teams and starting to figure out how to upload everything. Let me know if you have questions on that. Feel free to message me through Teams or through Remind, either way. So this week we're going to learn about inequalities. And so inequalities work very similar to how equations work. We are trying to solve for the variable. We're trying to solve for x. So we're going to do the same things we did last week. The one thing we've got to watch out for, though, is the inequality symbol. And here on this first problem we're going to do in the notes, we have a less than or equal to sign here. Okay, so we're going to pretend like it's an equal sign at first. Solve everything out just like we would if it was an equation. So I see first I need to distribute because I have a number in front of the parentheses. So negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times negative 1, that's positive 8. Don't forget, a couple of you had a little trouble with that last week. Whatever is in front of the parentheses needs to be multiplied by everything inside the parentheses. Now, will that negative 8 be multiplied by the negative x back here? Well, no, because it's not in the parentheses. It's just going to stay there. And then we have less than or equal to negative 28. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have some like terms. They're on the same side. I have a negative 8x and a negative, remember this is an understood 1x. So if I put those together, because they're on the same side, I have negative 8 and negative 1. I have negative 9x's, and then just plus 8 for the constant is less than or equal to negative 28. Okay, at this point, everything's been simplified. There's nothing else I can do on the left side. I have an x and I have a constant. They can't be combined. On the right side, nothing we can do over here, so we're ready just to solve for the variable. So we're going to move our constant first. It's a positive 8, so to move it, we do the opposite to both sides. So we have negative 9x, those cancel out, is less than or equal to negative 28 and negative 8. Now remember, they're both negative, so I know my answer is going to be negative. And if they're both the same sign, you just add the two numbers together. So that's going to give us 36. So it's negative 36. Okay, to get x by itself, it's being multiplied by negative 9, so I need to divide by negative 9. Okay, here's where it's different. Remember, the one thing we got to keep in mind, if we are solving an inequality, if I either multiply both sides or divide both sides with a negative number, that inequality symbol in the center will flip. So I divided both sides by negative 9, which leaves us just with x over here. But instead of it being a less than or equal to, it's now going to be a greater than or equal to. And negative 36 divided by negative 9 is positive 4, so that's my answer. Now, we're not going to do set notation. We're just going to write our answer as an interval. And so that's going to be our answer right there. What set notation is, just to jog your memory, we did it a little bit, but I'm not worried about it right now, is where we say, okay, all values of x such that x is greater than or equal to 4, but you don't have to do the set notation. You can leave it just like this. But there is one more thing you do need to do, and that is we need to graph our solution. So if I go ahead and write on number line here, okay, first of all, there are two things we got to remember. First of all, I need to know whether to use an open circle at 4 or a closed circle at 4. Do you remember what it tells me whether to use an open or a closed circle? Remember, if it's just a greater than or a less than sign, then I'm using an open circle. That means it doesn't include that number. But if it's a greater than, equal to, or less than or equal to, then I'm using closed because it's including that number. So since I have the equal sign, it's closed. Now, which way am I shading? Well, it says greater than 4, and notice the inequality is pointing to the right. So that means we're going to the right. And that's how, that was a messy arrow. And that's how we shade our graph here. Okay, let's try another one. All right, so here, again, we just need to solve out the inequality. So I have some parentheses. So let's deal with the parentheses first. Over on the left side, I have a negative 3 that needs to be multiplied by the x and by the positive 6. Now, this 5x is just out here by itself, so we're just going to rewrite it. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Is greater than or equal to. Okay, on the right side, I have parentheses, but there's no number in front of here. Well, there's a negative sign, though, isn't there? What number goes right here if there's no number? Do you remember? Remember, that's like 1. So it's a -1 that needs to be distributed. So again, the 8 is out in front, so it just stays there. It's not inside the parentheses. But the -1 needs to be multiplied by x. That just makes it -1x. And the -1 needs to be multiplied by the -7, which makes it +7. Okay, let's see if we can simplify each side before we start moving. So let's look just at the left side. Do we have any like terms on the left side? Well, yes, actually we do. We have a +5x and we have a -3x. So +5x and -3x is 2x minus 18 is greater than or equal to. All right, on the right side, do we have any like terms on this side? Well, actually we do. We have two constants, 8 and +7. So that's going to be 15 and then minus 1x. Remember, you only combine like terms. Now I'm ready to start solving for x. I'm going to move all the x's to the left side. So I want to move this -1x. Remember, to move, when I'm ready to start moving things, I do the opposite sign. So it's a -1x. So we're going to add 1x. You only do the opposite or the inverse operation if you're trying to move things to the other side. So 2x and 1x, that's 3x minus 18, is greater than or equal to 15. Those are gone. Okay, now I need to move my constant, so it's a -18. I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So we get 3x is greater than or equal to, if I add 15 and 18, that's going to be 33. And now to solve for x, I just need to divide by 3. Will I need to flip my sign this time? Well, did I multiply both sides or divide both sides with a negative? Nope. So the sign stays the same. It's not like the last one. Remember, on the last one, I divided both sides by -9. That made the sign flip. But here, I'm dividing by a +3. And so the sign is going to stay the same, and we just have 11. Okay, I didn't give you enough numbers here, so what we're going to do is let's add in, or maybe we'll just count by, let's just count by 3s, and we'll kind of put it in here. So we'll say 11's about right here. Open or closed? Well, it's going to be closed because it has the equal sign, and then it's pointing to the right, so greater than, so we're shading to the right. So again, your answer is just x is greater than or equal to 11. Okay? All right. Let's do one more of these. Okay, so again, to solve this one, I have a parentheses here, so I've got to distribute. So -3 times x is -3x. -3 times 2 is -6. Now, is that -3 going to go to the -3x? No, because it's not in the parentheses. This -3x is just out here by itself. Okay, any other parentheses? No. Let's look for like terms. Let's look just to the left side. Can I combine anything on the left side? Well, sure. I got a -3x and a -3x. So that's going to be -6x minus 6. It's less than anything to combine over here? Well, no, because I have an x and I have a constant. So that's 2x plus 18. Okay, now I can start moving. So I need to move x, and it doesn't matter to which side. I'm going to move everything to the left. So I have a +2 over here, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. -6 and -2, both x's, both negatives, so it's -8x. Bring down the constant. That's gone because I subtracted it away, so all I have left on the right side is 18. Now to solve for x, I need to move the constant first. So we're going to add 6. So on this side, we have -8x is less than 18 plus 6, so that's going to be 24. Now to solve for x, I need to divide both sides by -8. Uh-oh, we're dividing by negative again, so what do I need to do to the inequality? It needs to flip. So instead of being a less than, it's now going to be greater than, and 24 divided by -8 is -3. Okay, so this time let's do 0 up a little higher, and because I need to get to the negatives this time, right? Now, will this one be open or closed at -3? Well, it's going to be open because there's no equal sign. So we have an open circle at -3. And then again, we've had all greater thans, haven't we? It's a greater than sign, so we're going to shade to the right. Okay, I'm going to stop the video right here, and you can start on the first part of your assignment, which is just with the inequalities. When you get to the compound inequalities, the and the ors, refer to the next video, and that's going to go over those compound inequalities. All right, good luck, and as always, if you need help, contact me. Message me through Teams or Remind, and we can chat and get everything worked out. All right, let me know.